Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 7 of my portfolio update. So let's see what's happened in the last month. Stick with me in this one and let's see what we can get into. So this month's been a mixed emotions for me. On one side, you've got England losing in the final of the Euros, which is okay. You know, we reached the final for the first time in 55 years. We should be extremely proud of the boys. On the other hand, I turned 30, would you believe? 30 years old, so I'm officially in my 30s, and I'm excited about that. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, let's get into the investing of the video. So recently, in the last month or so, we've seen inflation fears kind of spike up again, especially in the last couple of weeks. We've also seen the market kind of go up a little bit, which we'll explore in a minute within my portfolio. But having mentioned that, I have taken some more money off the table. Again, we'll mention that in a minute. I'll tell you which ones I've sold, or partly at least, and we'll see where we are. On top of that, you've probably got people taking profits like myself, and as I just mentioned, I have taken some profits in the last month, and you've probably got a lot of people doing that as well because of the recovery plays. Throughout the last few months has not been so nice, and obviously that kind of boost within the market in the last month has been kind of refreshing for a lot of investors, obviously like myself. So you've probably seen a lot of profit taking, which is why the market's kind of dipping as well. If you want to know more about risk transfer and how to kind of limit your risk within the stock market as you're investing, please watch my video in the top right hand corner. It's all about risk transfer and limiting your risk within your portfolios, and I think it's a really helpful video to kind of get you on top of your portfolio, with all respect. And one last thing before we get stuck into my portfolio, please stay to the end, and I've got a playlist recommendation for you, especially if you're new to investing. So yep, stick around to the end. Without further ado, let's jump into my portfolio. So this is my portfolio here. You can see the account value is 3,604 with 3 funds of £50. Now in the last one, in the last update, we had £4,032. So you can see there already that I've limited that risk. I've taken out an extra £400 just because the markets were going so well, and I thought I'd limit that risk because the amount of money that I put in the last few months, just wanted to limit that risk. That's all. I can't say it enough. I was limiting my risk. As you can see here, this is the last month or so. So the last update was on the 13th of June, I believe, and that's kind of roughly right at the beginning here. And you can see how the market has gone. The market is in the blue line, and the dotted line is my investments, the money I've invested myself, the amount. So you can see here, the beginning had a little bit of a dip, but not a lot, but it really rode up really nicely here. And what I did, as you can see the dotted line, I dropped it out some money, so I sold. I've got the positions here that I've sold all together, so I'll just give you them now. So I've taken 0.5 of Etsy off, 30 shares of Nano Dimension off, 2 shares of Neo off, and 50 shares of Vislink Technologies. And obviously we'll go through that in a minute in terms of rebalancing portfolio and risk transfer. So as I was saying, yes, I dropped some money here, just as the market was getting quite high. Obviously I was up about £600 there. At 15%, so I took some off the table there, and then I continued for another week or so, and I took some more off the table there, and ever since then I have just let it ride. It rode up a bit, and then obviously inflation fears, the CPI data came out, and all that kind of jazz, and then it's just kind of dropped into the red there a little bit, but I don't think it will go too much further down going on from now, but who knows, I'm not a guru, you know, we'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and look into all of the positions. So obviously Etsy, like I mentioned, I dropped 0.5 shares, and that was just to kind of limit my risk, have less in the market for that particular set. And as you can see here, I've still got over £400 base value on there, with £56 profit, currently sitting at 14%, and I sold them actually around about 190, 198 I think. So you can see there I actually sold at a very good point, because that was about here-ish, shall we say. And IZEA, I've not touched that, and you can see it's 52% down. It's not really getting me down. I'm kind of used to it now, the IZEA one. It's just kind of sitting there. If it comes back up, then brilliant. If it doesn't, then brilliant. We'll just deal with that as it goes. But it looks worse than it is, I think. There, 251, 50%. I mean, it's $2.20. All I need here is to pop up here. But that could be a fair few months. Moving on, we've got Nano Dimension, which is 70 shares. As I mentioned, I took off 30 shares, and that was purely because when it was up about here, and I thought that actually it could go down further, especially if the market continues to downtrend. So what I do is I limit the risk there, and I may reinvest in that just to average down, but at the moment I'm not too fast. I'm just kind of let my portfolio ride, let the market do its thing, and just that, I think that's the safest option going forward. Next up we've got Neo, and that's currently sitting at £870 value, 28 shares, and I've sold, like I mentioned before, I sold 2 of those shares. Again, that was just to rebalance the portfolio, which we'll look at the allocations in a second. The Palantir, 544, haven't touched them at all, still going well, even though they have dropped off quite a bit, but you know, it's a long-term stock. This is a long-term portfolio. come back to me in 3 or 4 years and we'll see where we are then. Tesla has had a fairly good month, but it has dropped off in the last couple of days, obviously with the market sentiment. And then we've got Visling Technologies, which is currently my lowest position at 100 shares. I took 50 shares off that just because it is a penny stock. And it is very volatile at the moment. You can see that up, down, up, down, up, down in the last month. So I just wanted to limit that. So overall, you can see that I'm kind of half and half in terms of green and red. But overall, it's £13 down, 0.39% down. So I'm basically completely flat. And as you can see, it has been a very volatile month, but I have taken lots of profits from it. So it's nice to have taken it at such a good time. Obviously, you can never time it perfectly, but I feel like I kind of timed it relatively well. So let's head on over to the allocations. This is what I mentioned before, and this is why I took off certain amounts of different stocks. Now, Tesla and NIO didn't take off, well, I did take off 2 shares of NIO just because I wanted Tesla to be that higher stock slightly, and obviously NIO rebounded from about 33 to I think it was about 53, which is incredible. And I sold off a couple, I think about 49, which is good, at least in my opinion. If it does drop down to 32, 33, I probably will be loading the boat again, just because I think NIO is a massive stock for the future. And I really want to take the advantage, the opportunity for that going forward. Palantir 15, again, one of those stocks for the future, so I want to keep that roughly around 15%. And you can see the top 3 stocks are 65% in total, and that's to really kind of take advantage of that year-on-year capital gains going forward. So you can see my thesis there. A lot of growth investors do suggest having 3 or 4 positions around about 70-75% of your portfolio. So that's what I'm kind of looking at there, and it's paid off so far. Further down we've got Etsy. Like I said, I dropped down the percentage there just because I wanted Palantir to be that higher stock, so I feel like it's got a bit of higher growth in there. And then the lower stocks, you've got Nano Dimension, which is sitting around $7, so it's almost a penny stock, but it's still one for the future. But I still think it will probably travel horizontally for quite a while. IZEA, which is just, I told you about that earlier. IZEA's not great. And Visling Technologies is one for the future. I do think Visling will overtake IZEA in the next few months just because of value and growth and what they're doing. Their innovation technology is quite interesting, at least for me personally. So as you can see there, my portfolio update has been fairly successful over the last month, even though the market has dropped off in the last couple of weeks. I've taken those profits off the table, and I'll probably reinvest them in the next few months depending what the market does, or I'll just hold it as cash because it's important to hold cash on the sidelines. So I hope you took some value from this. Obviously definitely watch that risk transfer video that I linked earlier on in the video. It is really worth the watch. Also, if you didn't know, I have started an eToro challenge, which is just a little bit of fun, a little something on the side, which I'll link up in the top right hand corner for you. And so you can go ahead and watch that after this video, and you can see what I'm trying to do there. As always, thank you very much for your support. I really do appreciate the comments, the likes, the subscribes. It really does keep me going. To get that feedback, the positive feedback, the negative feedback, so I can keep going to create more content for you guys. And yes, I really do appreciate that. And with that being said, thank you very much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to watch future videos from me. Take care, invest safe, stay safe. As I said earlier on in this video, I did say stay to the end for a playlist recommendation. Now here it is. How do you invest? How to invest? All these questions might be going through your mind, and I have a playlist for you. It's up in the top right hand corner. I'll show some thumbnails on the screen for you so you can get an idea of what's in it. And it just goes through kind of what platforms to use, how to invest, the kind of mindset you should have behind it. So it may help you within your journey. You may know some things, you may pick some things up, but either way, I think value is there. It's in the playlist there. So thank you very much if you do watch it. Take care. See you soon. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 7. I don't have 7 fingers. I've just noticed there's a white cat sitting in a tree. No, that's pretty nice.